So I'm going to be focusing on, this is a midwinter solstice kind of session. So start by arriving in the room. Whatever state you're in at the moment, you might be full of energy, you might be a bit tired and a bit kind of midwintery. So tomorrow is the shortest day. And then the days start getting longer. Although the mornings don't, mornings get darker for some reason. So breathe, feel your feet on the ground, put your energy through the floor below, into the ground. Find that nurturing, supportive, restorative earth quality. Smile. Give your shoulders a wiggle. I hope Debbie comes because I was going to tell her about the perimenopause video that she put on the...
Oh, yes.
Yes.
That was very funny.
I was going to tell her about the point on your foot that you can use for... Well, acupuncturists would know how to do that. But you can massage it on your foot as well. But the hot flush point. So just wiggle your... And then get into the hips. Since we are working on the... Hello, Debbie. I was talking about you. I'm just talking about your video. Okay, so put your hands onto your kidneys, and then, as though you're warming your kidneys and helping the hips to become more fluid and more rotative. Yeah, I thought I'd just like to feature that. I just like to have her.
Just looking that way at you, and it's just too much.
Yeah, yes. So you don't want to be.
Thank you.
You don't want to be in silhouette. I don't want to be in silhouette particularly. So put your mind into your hips. Don't do things on autopilot. Try to be mindful. So putting the hands onto the kidneys, you can obviously put the hands onto different parts of the body, but it's quite nice this time of year. So winter, kidney energy, water element, time for restoration, rest, change direction. And open up the breath as well when you do this. So sometimes the breath becomes quite shallow and stuck, so it's nice to move the hips and allow the diaphragm to respond to what's going on in the hips. Okay. And then pause it. Let's do a bit of shaking. Just let the whole body shake as much as you want to. So it could be a tiny little high vibration, it could be a high frequency one, or it could be a great big shake. Shake out. Shake out the bleh. Shake out the greyness. Are you a winter person, a summer person, a spring person, or an autumn person?
A woman for all seasons.
A woman for all seasons. That reminds me of Wolf Hall. I'm just finished watching Cromwell. And
I fell in love with Cromwell when I read her book.
he wasn't a very nice person.
No, but in her books he is.
And you don't see his head being chopped off either.
No, I couldn't finish the last one.
Oh, spoiler.
Because
So shaking, so as though you're creating space between your knuckles, and by creating space between the knuckles, there's a correspondence in the spine. So you're opening the spine up. And doing any other movements, any other movements that you kind of want to do at the same time. Get into the wet dog shake, as we were talking about earlier. Get into your inner canine. Shake, shake, shake. And then you can do a leg as well. Press down, again, press down on the bubbling well point, which is between your big toe, between the balls of the feet. So pressing down, shaking your leg. So you can rub your kidney at the same time if that's not too confusing. I don't know. It's like patting your head and rubbing your stomach. So it's really feeling into that kidney meridian, waking the leg up, energizing the leg, relaxing the leg, and then pause after shaking. Always good to pause and again feel the feet going down through the floor. Feel the width across the upper back. Feel the head rising. Feel that verticality in the body. Find the verticality. Standing tall without standing tall. As though your head's being lifted up. Breathe. Allow anxieties to drop into the ground. Let your plans go on hold. Time of year when the mind is desperately planning everything. So maybe just for the next, however long it is now, just allowing yourself just to be immersed in the practice. Roll the shoulders, stretch the mouth, stretch the hand, open the eyes and the mouth wide. Shouldn't have videoed this, really. And then pausing, and then just getting to some swings. Body does the work, arms relax, breathing opens, fingers separate, palms face down. Then you can hinge on your elbow so that the arms come up. So opening the joints. And then the one some of you were doing earlier, this one where you rotate, outward rotation of the arms, starts to wake up the shoulders nest point. Yawns, burps, any other bodily sensations or bodily actions. Okay. It's quite nice to do this in the bow stance. So, as always with the bow stance, make sure your knee is tracking the foot. So one thing with Qigong is to always keep the knee safe. So no bending, no twisting of the knees. This is quite vigorous, well, vigorous-ish. Good. And then back to, let's rub the hands, rub the forearms, twisting, rub between the fingers, like there's cobwebs between your fingers. Let's do the whole body sweep, so just get the hands really nice and lively. Tips of the fingers tapping, everything waking up. Rub different parts of the palm together, centre of the palm, fleshy part. Rub this inner part of the wrist together, and then a sort of exfoliation type sweep over the whole body. So close the fingers, have the thumbs separate, yeah. And then I kind of sweep over the body, coming down. Just under the rib cage, so some of the hands on the rib cage, some of it's below the rib cage. Either side of the spine, come right down to the tailbone, and then have the thumb in this position over the feet, and then go right down, and then swish over the tops of the feet. Everybody's okay with that, yeah. And then do that one more time. So bring the hands up, turn the palms, find this elixir stuff. Close the fingers, go over, take a layer off the body. Good exercise for after Christmas. Take a layer off the body. Of course, you can do swimming dragon after Christmas as well. Okay, and then pausing, and then beating yourself up bit. Let's do the fist. Keep the wrist nice and fluid, and then so harder, not necessarily better. On the outside, good. So some kidney points just down here, just off the sternum. Some of them are very energizing. And then down the arm. So even doing this, you can experience tingling sensations. They're just on the side, not going too far in, but just sort of almost on the side of the body here, just around the liver and spleen area, and then going down, and just going a little bit into the quad, into the groin area, not too much. Going down. While you're down here, you might as well do the sacrum. So, as long as everybody's back's all right, yeah. Again, make sure if you experience any pain whatsoever, just to back off. And then coming up and smiling. Finding that tall element of yourself, the bit of you that is tall and upright, strong. As though you're a few millimeters taller. Just find that tallness. I hate to say it, but a little bit wider as well. Just feeling of the widening of the shoulders, widening between the shoulder blades. Actually, again, I hate to say this, but widening a little bit through the hips as well. And then feel the balls of your feet on the ground, feel the heels equal weight distribution. Smile. You hear the traffic outside, you can maybe hear your own breathing, other people's breathing. So yeah, I'm going to focus on a few kidney movements, which helps to balance the qi in the winter time. So as we move into the darkest, shortest times of the year, the most yin time of the year, we can just do some exercises which help to harmonise. And of course, within winter there is summer. Summer is always in there as well. Opposites contained within each other. Good. So let's go up. Just let the arms rise. Do this really, really slowly. Breathing out. Breathing in, finding the thickness of the air in front of you. Breathing out. Staying nice and vertical, so not wobbling from one side to another. Yeah, all good. Feel this poetic flourish with your wrists. Lovely. So breathing in freshness, breathing in restorative energy, breathing out anything that feels stale, stagnant. And again, the position is always feet parallel, but how far apart you have your feet is a question of your own architecture. So, yeah, you're all good on that. So, with any movement, you think, well, I've done this hundreds of times, it's really boring. However, I mean, I've done this millions of times, but you can still find new things in it. You can still find a freshness in the movement. You can still find slight muscle reaction to something you hadn't realised that was there. So always a feeling of the elbows being slightly open as well. Let's go into a horse stance and do the same thing in horse stance. So again, making sure your knees are doing sensible things. Let's let the hands rise higher this time, coming up. Keep the palms facing down. And then go right up, higher in the knees. And then pause with the hands on your table, but no polishing yet. And then, as though your hands were feeling into the earth, feel this finding nourishment within the ground. So if you're feeling tired today, feeling as though the hands are finding some source of energy deep in the earth, most yin time of year, and then this feeling of drawing up, just come up to the navel, keep the hands facing, fingers pointing down, come up to the heart, keep the fingers, keep the elbows, yeah, brilliant, elbows. And then come up into this big shape, take up space, pressing down. So one continual movement, a big breathe in, looking up slightly without crunching the neck, breathing out. Good. Breathing out. So feeling your intimate connection with the ground becoming stronger. As you move like this, relax the shoulder joints. Always in Qigong, we have relaxation, song, combined with strength. This is a martial arts technique as well, soft martial arts. And then from here, just pause with the hands outstretched. I think we're going to do a bit of swimming dragon. See if you can hold this position. So, fingers separate, arms slightly in front of the body. Imagine that the arms are floating in space, so if the shoulders start to scream, if they get painful, stop, but if the shoulders are slightly achy, then see if you can breathe into the shoulders. Imagine that the arms are floating, and then from here, start to imagine a dragon. Turn the palms to face down, then rotate the shoulders completely. So a bit of a coiling up the body, and then touching the backs of the hands together, and then a sort of release of the coil, and then this swimming dragon posture. Figure of 8. So 2 stances for the swimming dragon today. We can go quite wide.
We look the opposite way, is that right?
Yeah, we do. Thanks. So if you track your, don't do this. If you track your hands with your head, you don't get the full movement in the shoulders and the neck. And then you can change the height, so you can go quite low, depending on just how energetic you feel today. So in the new year, I'd probably do a swimming dragon. I'll probably do this on my own, but do a swimming dragon video for YouTube, because swimming dragon is supposed to help with weight loss. People who have overindulged. Scientific evidence for that is not necessarily that clear. And then bring your feet together. And then do the same thing in the feet together stance. And with this stance, you really do sense the spine. It does make you hot, this movement. So really put your mind and imagination into the spine. Just really feel spine moving in all sorts of snake directions. Good. And then just bring the hands in front of the body, diving dragon. So just this feeling of consolidating the central line of the body. So coming down the front, breathing out, coming up away from the body. Feeling back into your center, breathing out. So I'm going to go into 2 kidney movements now. So these are movements we've both done lots of times as part of the Shibashi form, but they're going to be freestanding today. So just bring your hands, before we do that, we just place the hands on the heart, keep the palms completely touching, and feel like there's a response within the heart. So in Qigong, there's this idea of Ren, or virtue, kindness. So as we do this, we can, without going into a full-blown meditation on kindness, we just have maybe a suggestion of a feeling of peace on earth and goodwill to all men and women. So feel like kind of sense of radiating out this feeling of positivity, good wishes. As you know, we can further develop this by taking the hand away and then going into the lotus offering. But not today. So open the hands, come into the hip width apart, rowing the boat. So come into this position first. Find the spine, find the back of the neck long, smile. Just lean forward slightly and find that bubbling well point between the balls of the feet. Beginning of the kidney meridian. So coming up, keep the palms facing forwards. See if you can hold this position a little bit as well. So make sure I don't think my shoulders are going up then, but just feel as though your toes and your fingers are sort of talking to each other. Feel like there's a sort of line going through the side of your body. Feel like there are threads going down through each half of the body, and then breathe out. So different versions of this. One is to just go down a little bit like this. When you come up, rotate, palms face forwards, as though you're rowing a boat. Keep those shoulders nice and fluid, pressing down, breathing out. Sorry?
It's fine.
And then there's a more extreme version of this. If your back's a bit dodgy, perhaps avoid this, but you can come right down into quite a deep squat, and then the hands go behind and then come up. So you are really quite a deep squat there, so make sure you're okay with that movement. Keep breathing in, breathing in. So breathe out, hands going down. Breathe out, and then breathing in from the squat, breathing in as you come up. And then maybe go down into the less extreme version of that. Okay, so visualization is feeling of cleansing the kidneys. So as the hands come down, feel like you're flushing any toxins out of the kidneys. They kind of do that anyway. I mean, this detox thing is a bit of a con, to be honest, but it kind of helps in terms of Qigong. We can give the organs a helping hand. So breathing in and breathing out, and feel as though the kidneys are flushing out through the legs and through the balls of the feet. And as you breathe in, imagine this time just breathing up energy from the balls of the feet into the kidneys. So we feel like there's a total cleansing going on with the kidneys here. So the emotion connected with the kidneys is fear, and the opposite, courage. So as you breathe out, now I'm not going to ask you to do anything particularly psychologically intense, but you can just have a hint of breathing out any fears. But nothing too extreme, but just almost like you don't have to name them, but like the action itself is going to be breathing out some fearful emotions, but not knowing what they are. You don't have to go into them. It's a very hands-off kind of release. Almost like just hinting at it. And as you do this, the whole body feels very alive, very, very good, very fluid. This release of a very primal emotion, yet the background of the body feels open, the body feels responsive, the body feels as though it's being cleaned, the water coming up, especially the lower half of the body. Very cleansing action here. Smile, particularly this one. Even though there's a hint that you're releasing fear, if we smile at the same time, there's a deep process within the brain of releasing these stored up emotions. Good. So this can be a very therapeutic movement. Okay, and then we'll just pause, leave the hands down, just stand in this position here, this open position. So we notice the difference between the front and the back of the body. The front is open, soft, empathetic, compassionate. Back of the body, it's like the structure of the body, strong, protective, containing. Sometimes we need to be in our shell, other times we can be very open. Let's do a little bit of going into the shell. So turning the hands, this is the turtle movement, and then coming out. And almost the back bend, again keeping the neck free, breathing out. Bringing the hands, backs of the hands into the body. Breathing in, breathing out. Lovely, yeah. So in the shell, out of the shell. Hello world, go away world. Bring the hands up higher so they're more like the heart space.
When do we breathe in?
You breathe in as you go out like this, and then breathe out. As you come in, breathe in. Thank you. Breathe out. You can do the other way around with this one as well. You can change it over. Sometimes with the movements you can have a different breathing pattern. It has a different effect. Okay, and then from here we're going to go into the healing form because it's kind of integrative. So it has a, let's just work the feet. Let's just change the position of the feet a little bit now. So when you're practicing, it's always good to re-stand. It's like where you're standing can feel a bit stale. So flick there. Walk on the heels. So channel your inner John, please. People of a certain generation remember that. So re-stand as though you are reconnecting with the ground, perhaps reconnecting in a stronger way. Shoulder blades open, armpits open. How are we doing for temperature in here? Yeah. I'm getting cold, is it? Too hot?
Is it cool over there? Yeah.
Guess what?
You're right.
You can press your Yong Chuang point. I'll show you later on. That's good for hot flushes. I don't know if that's the. Anyway,
Do you want this foot top and do it? But if you go that, oh, okay. So you might need to. You can reach that one. Yeah. If I pull this, then it'll lost one.
Okay. Okay. You should have put that video up, Debbie. So standing tall, so healing form, this is your go-to position. This is the one that ties everything up, integrates everything, backs of the hands almost touching, as though there's a little conversation going on with your back of your left hand and the back of your right hand, having a little chat. Relax the shoulders. Feel, again, dipping into the earth, then drawing up the center line of the body, breathing. And now, with your breathing, with the healing form, you can synchronize the breath, but often this is one of those Qigong things where the breath and the movements don't have to synchronize. They just sort of do synchronize, but you find your own synchronization. And then going into a squat. So sending the hands down the legs, sending the fingers deep into the earth, coming up, center line of the body, keeping your elbows, some great elbow work going on today. Gathering the sky, bringing the sky down, that yang energy. Even though we're at the most yin time of year, that yang is still around. If you think of the yin-yang symbol, there's a dot in the middle, which shows the opposites are still present. So the light is still present within the darkness. And in midsummer, the other way around. So keeping your knees nice and open. And feel like you're scanning through your body with your hands. The hands kind of reaching inside. So almost like your bone marrow is being washed by this action. Just under the rib cage, connect with the kidneys, connect with the lower back, connect with the outside of the legs, connect with the earth, connect with the inside of the legs, connect with the central line of the body, connect with the heart and lungs, connect with the horizon. Lots of connections. One more bend down, connect with the sky. Feel this, feel your place within everything. One more bend down, and then we do it without bending down. Sending the hands down. Good. This time not bending down. Really soften into this movement. Feel like any blocks in the body, any areas where the chi is very strong, where the chi is very weak. Feel like you're smoothing it out so that chi becomes even through the body, clearing the channels. So with this movement, we do the full version going down first, and then we start to simplify the movements. So the first simplification is not to bend down, and then second simplification is to, when the hands come down, this time you touch the ground, but then the palms sort of float up. And we continue going down the back of the body a couple of times. Oops, sorry, that was me. And then we can throw in a bit of a brain and a face cleanse as well. So we just go do the whole body first, and then we'll do that afterwards, coming up. Lovely. And then preparing for a kind of defogging of the brain, cleansing of the mind, face, and then pausing, rotating, inviting, checking the back of your neck, hinging, close but not touching, and then just sweeping over the face, sweeping over the back of the head, back of the neck, throat, coming down, sending the hands down. So you can do this movement just on its own. So if you're doing if you're doing your tax return or writing the third novel. Doing something quite intellectually intense, especially on the screen. It's quite nice to just have sort of a couple of minutes of doing this. Just, you don't have to go through anything else. You can just stand. It's good to do this standing actually. Just feel this cleansing action. Refreshing the eyes, the nose, the throat, the lips, tongue, everything being refreshed. Good. And then pausing and stand, and a bit of a shake coming on, I think. Okay, so going to go now into pushing the waves again. A kind of cleansing action, and also use it strengthening the kidneys, energizing the kidneys. Going to bow stance, right foot forward, making sure your knee is tracking your foot. Not going, don't go, make sure you don't go over your big toe, so you always want to be staying safe. Good, yeah. Okay, and then, so go through several stages. So tuck the elbows in, breathe out, push the waves, palms face down, come in, push the waves. Same time feeling the soles of the feet getting nicely worked out. So here you are pushing the waves. Are you really pushing the waves? Maybe the waves are pulling you instead. So let go of your ego. Get into the feeling that the waves are actually quite happy moving by themselves, and that you are being moved by the waves. So surrender to the ocean. or the sea as we call it here. And there's a breathing out as you go forwards, and a breathing in. Okay, so 2 more things we can do with this movement. So as we move through the water, feeling like the water is finding space in the body and it's cleaning out any viruses, any imperfections, any illness, any stress. Every part of your body, there's a feeling of a kind of deep cleansing at a cellular level, a fascia level, at a blood vessel level. Just feel as though the water's just going right inside into the space, into the cells, into the DNA. Just really let go into this purity of the water just sweeping through the body. And you don't have to do anything, just submit to it. Just allow this washing feeling permeating deep into the body. So I'm going to switch sides. Stay with the washing action, cleaning into the body, deep, deep, lovely. Breathing out as the hands go forward, breathing in. So just 3 more on this side. Then pause, come back into the middle. We're going to the other side. We do the Wei Qi version of this, which is the feeling of pushing away a virus, pushing away infection. Just stand for a few moments. Send the feet through the floor, send the feet through the floor below, send the feet into the ground. Breathe out down the side of the legs, breathe in up the inside of the legs. Feel charged, feel tall, feel the back of the neck lengthening, feel the chin coming slightly down. Have a quality of aliveness going through your body, like a kind of small electric current. Feel the fingers slightly separate. And then coming into our, this time, we're employing this movement more as a feeling of pushing away the virus. Breathing in, lifting the feet. Breathing in. So imagine pushing away whatever's coming at you health-wise. You can visualize a virus as a little kind of cartoon character. One more, then changing side. Good. And then one more and come back to middle. Rolling the shoulders. I should go into a bit more shaking, yeah. As you do the alternative roll as well. Good. Yeah, okay, so send one hand down and then come up the opposite leg. So just do one hand, send the hand down and then come up the opposite. Go down one leg, come up the opposite, and then do both together. Okay, so this is. So you're visualizing one hand going up and down the leg and switching over. Good, yeah, well done, yeah. Why am I surprised people have got there? So with this, you don't need to breathe in a particular way, but you just feel like you're just really carrying on this sensation of strengthening and softening the legs. Okay, now just going to go up to, just come up. Actually, just do a couple of healing forms. Do one more full and then we'll pause with the arms outstretched. Pausing here. Now bring the right hand down flat, and then the left hand is vertical. So this bottom arm is away from the body. And now imagine there's a laser beam coming from the elbow into the center of the wrist. And then feel this to be a kind of martial action here. So you have a sort of like a strike hand, and then you have a block hand, vertical. Now we're going to switch the hands over. The left hand will begin to descend into the inner elbow of the opposite. Push it away, and then you switch over. So let the hand drop. Come inside the elbow, and then as though the hand is pushing the elbow away, switch over, and then you get into this action here, and then come into the bow stance. Turning the body as you do this. So this can be quite free as well. And keep your eyes open and sort of scan around as though you're scanning the room for threat. And keep this switching over the hands. And keep that connection between the elbow and step a little bit as well. So quite nice to do some stepping with this. Keep the connection between the elbow and the wrist. Keep the eyes open. Good, okay. And then you can just, okay, so this is one of those Qigong things that's quite powerful if you can get your head into it. So turn the hand very slightly. It's though the hand turns the waist. So it's like power steering. Just turn the hand, and then the waist turns as a response. So like the hand is turning, somehow turning the waist, and then come around and do the same thing with the other hand. Turning, turning, turning. Good. So this kind of idea of a small action affecting a big action in the body is very sort of Qigong. Good. And then come back. And then let the hand come down. This time the hands just separate out. And then just pause, just gather yourself, just take a few smooth, strong breaths. So I think I will go into the protective cocoon again. So create an intention to tune up your immune system. So just go inside, just as though you had like a big control panel. Because you don't want the immune system to be too strong because it starts doing the wrong kind of thing, but then you don't want it to be too weak either. So feeling of like the hands rising, hands float, coming into holding the ball, feeling this nice, warm, strong ball between the arms. Quite nice to get into this just pulsing kind of action here. And then the ball just pushing very gently, pushing the arms apart. Coming wide, again, holding this position. Feel a line between the top of your head and the perineum. Feel a line between each of the fingers and the opposite fingers. Feel a line between the toes and your hips. Bring the hands down. Have the ball in front of you. Ball is bigger than your body. As you turn the hands, it allows the ball to slip over your body and the ball to find its place protecting you. So not moving the hands to start with, but just sensing this layer of unobtrusive protection around your body. And then the hands can sense this ball. Visualize whatever the quality of the ball is, whatever it's made of materially, whether it's hard, soft, something in between, changing. Feel as though your hands are able to check that there's no gaps. So imagine anything of harm that approaches you. So in the martial arts traditions of Qigong, if you have a very strong Qi field and you maybe employ these sort of techniques, it's like if somebody wanted to hurt you, come near you, that they would get to a point where they can't approach you. It's like they sort of suddenly just get a feeling that they're going to back off. You don't have to do anything. So there's this very strong kind of martial arts where you can't be approached because there's something about quality of either a bubble around you or a field which give something out to a person whose intentions are not good. So Qigong, even without going into the martial side of it, can be protective in terms of physical threat. But this is something that needs a lot of work and something obviously you don't want to test out for real, to be honest. So, good. Excellent. We also use this if we feel like there's too much stimulation, too many crowds, too much coming in our direction, too much emotional, mental overload. It can kind of act as a kind of filter. And then just letting the ball come back in front of the body, but the effects of the ball stay with you, anchored into the body. Good. And then bringing the ball up. Excellent. All done really well. And always with Qigong, we don't want to leave ourselves open, or we don't want to remain in the Qigong state after the class. We want to make sure everything is closed down and safe. So bringing the hands back into the belly. So landing the right hand first, settling the right hand on the body, thumb around navel level, close the fingers. Let the other hand linger a little bit. Can't quite decide whether or not to land there. And then land the hand, close the fingers. And just feel very, very content. Somebody was talking about the Danish concept of hygge. That's how you pronounce it, hygge. And part of that is feeling content, not wanting to be anywhere else, not wanting anything extra, but just being content, settled. So a kind of feeling of contentment, settledness, gratitude, coziness. I think the Welsh word is cwtch.
It's hug, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah.
It means hug as well. Cwtch, yeah. C-W-T, yeah. I was on Newport Station and they were talking English, but then they were throwing in Welsh words that they said so about that was very cwtch. I kind of thought, that's amazing, I love that. Pressing in, and then, so cwtch and hugger aren't quite the same thing, is it?
No. Kitch up.
Yeah. It's got a nice feeling of gathering and containment, isn't it? So it's very Qigong actually. But Qigong is very cwtch. Rubbing. So just feeling that physicality of the body.
More longer. I'm joining his meditation.
You can, that's absolutely fine. So you're always very punctual. Okay, so thank you very much. So if you're not staying for meditation, have a great Christmas, New Year, solstice.
Yeah. Same to you, Paul, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Great, thank you.
Hello, Julia. What happened to you? Wrong town.